Again, my name is Phil Kavouriaris. I am a master's student at Murray State University. My advisor is Dr. Andrea Durock, and as he mentioned, Dr. Springer is intimately involved in this project as well. So I'm going to talk. The title of my presentation is "Analyzing Post-fledging Movements and Estimating Home Ranges of Black Vultures Here in Kentucky." And so this is actually part of a larger project being conducted in the state. And there's also an aspect looking at the nesting ecology of these birds as well that I will talk a little bit more about. But today I will just be talking about our work looking at juvenile dispersal of black vultures. So why do we care about this? Actually, it turns out, despite how common these birds are, we know surprisingly little about some of their life history aspects. In particular, we know next to nothing about fledglings. Specifically looking at survival rates, movement rates, as well as space use, basically how they make that transition from juvenile birds into adulthood. But the first step here is a home range assessment. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that on the next slide, but I hope you enjoy the picture of these two siblings to the right here. All right, so not sure if you can see in the bottom corner, we have a map of, a blue map of Kentucky, and those little yellow dots are nests that we actually monitored this past spring and summer. As you can see, pretty wide geographic variation. So from these nests, we actually went back in late July and we trapped at the nests, and we put these GPS GSM transmitters on a subset of these nestlings, 10 of them. They're with nylon backpacks, and you can see in the top right here, there's a picture of a fledgling with a backpack after it was installed. So we started out with 10 nestlings. We are currently monitoring 9 of them. These transmitters are have the potential to transmit many locations. We have over 300,000 locations that were analyzed as a part of this analysis. So that's basically from when they were trapped in late July until the end of the year, December 31st. The average transmission duration for each bird was about 157 days. So that's about 5 months per bird. The analysis was conducted in R using the package ADE Habitat HR. We utilized the minimum convex polygon method for this analysis with both home range and core area estimations, home range at 95% and core area at 50% MCP. Taking a look at some of our results here, I'll direct you to the blue box in the center. This is just an average for all 9 birds. Our core areas averaged about 77 square kilometers, and our home ranges averaged about 1,200 square kilometers. And I'd like to point out the standard error here is pretty significant, 30 kilometers and then 500 for the home ranges. So again, right off the bat, we saw a pretty wide variation in these estimations across the state with these birds. So I thought that was pretty interesting. I'd also like to point your attention to these 2 maps here. Now, from the naked eye, they may look pretty similar. It actually turns out these are 2 separate birds, not the 2 siblings that were pictured on the first slide, but these 2 siblings were trapped at the same nest up in Mason County near the Ohio border. And as you can see, the maps look extremely similar. The home range and core area values, again, pretty similar, with maybe the bird on the right having a slightly larger range. And I just thought that was pretty interesting. And obviously the core area here is focused around the nest. All right, so overall, this was just a preliminary assessment. as you can see, the wide variation in core area home ranges, not something we necessarily expected. But future analyses, we're really going to dig into these birds. Model, we'll be able to look at daily and seasonal movement rates, look at landscape level effects, land cover, as well as conduct habitat assessments, as well as factors like distance to natal area, and then looking at sibling overlap like we saw in the previous slide. And I think that should just about do it for me.